About 3 months ago, I had an operation to realign my jaw. It was quite a weird process really. It happened probably about two and a half years ago. I was just living the average adolescence, you know, trying to strike the perfect balance between pornography, social awkwardness, and football manager. When completely out of the blue, I received a letter from the NHS, which essentially said that due to the deep psychological damage caused by my face, looking as it did, they were willing to offer me surgery. Now I'll tell you what's happened there, ladies and gentlemen. The NHS, a chronically underfunded organisation that has to deal with an almost infinite number of needs with only a scarce amount of resources, that often has to deny people life-saving drugs, has decided that in their medical opinion, my face was so unimaginably grotesque that it was inconceivable that anyone could be living a happy, normal life. But it wasn't even. I'd been up to me and I'd said, I'm a bit insecure about my appearance, is there anything you do? No. They have proactively sought me out. Now before this, I'd been quite happy with my appearance. However, having been diagnosed as an ugly fucker by the NHS, I decided to have the surgery. And all this was going at school, and school was really hard for me, because my school is very rough. Now both my parents are therapists, so I'm emotionally literate. Or, as it was commonly referred to at my school, a massive gay. I still remember the first day that I was just walking along the corridor, and I inadvertently being the key word here, caught the eye of someone who can only be described as a mental bastard. He turned to me, oi mate, what the fuck are you looking at? I turned and I said, I think it's clear I'm looking at someone with anger issues. Probably stemming from a low level of emotional attachment to your primary caregiver. Somewhat unsurprisingly, he kicked the shit out of me. And another reason I am a fan of my school is populated primarily by two-nippled individuals. I was born with, depending upon your definition, either 3 or 4 or 5 nipples. I still remember my first PS and there was a bundle of nerves in the corner about to take my top off with one thing running through my head. Please don't notice my nipples. Don't let them notice. People notice? Of course they notice. It began as a whisper and slowly spread around the class. John's got shitloads of nipples. My school was also, it was in Bradford and it was predominantly Asian. I was genuinely the only white boy in my entire form class. And it meant because of cultural things, I sort of struggled to make friends. I'll never forget the day I knew I'd sort of made it, I knew I'd become my sort of group of friends. And that was the day that I joined the gang at school called the Blazing Bangladeshis. Who are the Blazing Bangladeshis? Just me and 5 Bangladeshis. What a fucking gang it was. But even at school, I was never very good with women. You know, it turns out apparently being clinically unattractive, possessing an indeterminable but larger than average number of nipples, and being an active member of the blazing band of history is really the way to get a lot of sex. And it was sort of funny till prom happened, where suddenly I had to ask a girl out. And there was a girl, you know, we've all been there, that's how we've all been there, lads. Lads, we've all been there. When you look at a girl and you think, fuck me. Look at the bone structure on her. I would tap that. We were friends. I say friends, I sang it twin maths, but it sort of counts. The closest I came to a conversation with her was I overheard her say she'd forgotten a pen. And I said, you've forgotten your pen? I have a pen. You want my pen? Pen? She took my best pen. Didn't return it. Should have been my first sign that she was a heartless bitch. But it wasn't until like on Friday, probably on Saturday, on Friday, I still asked anyone out. So I plucked up the courage, asked her out quite remarkably, almost like a Hollywood movie. She said yes. Then I so excited, I ran home, told my mum, spent all Saturday getting ready. And then I went home and I saw her dancing there, gave her the flowers, and it turned out she'd only accepted as a joke. Fortunately, there is no confusion over the meaning of the girl you love, laughing in your face in front of the whole school. I like to think, ultimately, I won though, because she died. Ridicule and humiliation, but ultimately still breathing. It's causing a long day. I'm going to go now.